and today we're going to talk about review Adventureland, 2009 comedy drama, and this was requested by Stranger Boi 101. Thank you for the request. This film here is directed and written by Greg Mottola, who directed Superbad and Paul. It stars Jesse Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart, Ryan Reynolds, Martin Starr, Bill Hader from SNL, and more. The plot to the film, so, Jesse Eisenberg, he's the star of the film. He plays the main character, James, and in order to save money for graduate school, he has to call off this long-awaited trip to Europe and instead gets a summer job at this amusement park called Adventureland. And soon he falls in love with a co-worker and embarks on a relationship with her. And that's the plot to the film here. Now again, Jesse Eisenberg, he's the star of the film. And for the character that he's playing here, he's not bad. But if I could be honest here, I'm not the biggest fan of Jesse Eisenberg. Like again, here he's not bad. Zombieland, he's not bad. But I've never really been a fan of his style, his way of acting, his delivery. And I think that really escalated when he was casted as Lex Luthor in Batman vs. Superman. And the way he played that character. It's like, I'm not really a fan of this guy. And you cast him as Lex Luthor. And I just think from there it just made it worse to where I don't want to see this guy anymore. And I'm sure there's going to be some out there that will disagree, that are fans of Jesse Eisenberg. Now, there are worse actors, yeah, but again, I'm just not a fan of his, I'm not a fan of his style. I'm not a fan of his acting. Like, I kind of want to hand him a decaf coffee. But again, in the film, he's not bad for the character that he's portraying here. Kristen Stewart, I think this is around the time she had started on the Twilight series. Ryan Reynolds' character in the film, he's in here. He plays a maintenance worker at this theme park, but he's also like a musician. Martin Starr, he's a co-worker. He plays this character who's a friend of the main character in the film. And I'm like, I've seen Martin Starr before, and I'm like, okay, yeah, he's in that Tulsa King series with Stallone. Bill Hader is the boss here in the film from SNL. But I think everybody in the cast does a good job. Like I said, even though I'm not a fan of Jesse Eisenberg, but I'll give him some credit here for the type of character that he's playing here. So again, the cast is decent. Now, one thing that I should have mentioned here with the story is that it's set in the late 80s. But I never really felt that throughout the film. Like, it still feels very new and contemporary as far as the tone of the film. Like, if it wasn't for the soundtrack, which there are some good song choices throughout the film, some good 80s songs, but I never really fully got the vibe that it was set in the 80s. Maybe, I think, if it was set in the 90s, it would have been better. With the way these characters act and stuff. And maybe if you had more of a 90s soundtrack. As far as other stuff here, the theme park setting, like, it's a cool backdrop to the story. But there's not a lot of comedy that comes from that. Like, you kind of expected a little bit more, shenanigans in the park. And I get it's more about the romance. But that, the romance I didn't really care for. I thought the love angle, kind of meandered for me. Like, it was kind of meandering. Now, I like some of the chemistry between the characters. Between like the lead of the film, Jesse Eisenberg and Ryan Reynolds. I thought they had some good scenes together. I kind of wish that they would have more scenes together. But it was more about, Jesse Eisenberg falling for this girl And Ryan Reynolds' character is in love with her too. Again, I didn't really, I didn't really care about that. I mean, the comedy, you kind of get a little bit of comedy here and there, but it's nothing that's laugh out loud or that really stood out for me, because it does feel more drama than comedy. And this type of film here, you've seen films like this before, but I can think of better movies that are similar in that category that I prefer more. And again, I think with Jesse Eisenberg, going back to him for a minute, like, I think if you had someone else as the lead character, like if Martin Starr, like his character in the film, again, the coworker, like if he was the main character, I think he has a little bit more charm to him as an actor, and a little bit more likability. But, or maybe likability is not the right word, but like, I'm like, have him as the main character. But I didn't hate the film. Like, I just think for me, when it comes to this type of film, there are other films out there of this type, this genre, that I prefer more. The cast here isn't bad. The music is good. The direction isn't bad. The theme park, is cool. I wish they would have done more with that, with that throughout the film. But this is not a bad watch. And out of 10, I'm going to give this film a 6 out of 10. So, again, it was a decent watch, but for me, nothing remarkable. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Take care.